today on Divorce Court.
My biggest issue with my wife is trust issues. I tell her that she's always on mute when I start talking. It's like, woo, that's all she hears. My religion has affected my marriage to the point that she has this perception about what a Muslim and Islam is about. So once she hears that word, it's like, oh no, I'm not receptive to nothing. No, I can't, no. If my wife doesn't change, what's going to happen to my relationship? Allahu Alam. That means that my Creator knows best. There's no reason to say, oh yeah, we're going to break up. That's already written. That's what it is.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Iesha Dockery and Ty Dockery. The two of you have been married for 4 years. You have run into a significant stumbling block within your marriage, and you wanted my assistance. So you're here today to get my help looking at this issue. I would love for you to tell me about the day you got married. Mrs. Dockery, well, I'm gonna start with you. Please tell that story.
Okay, Your Honor. So we went to Justice of Peace to get married. We didn't have a big wedding. We said our vows. After we said our vows, 10 minutes later, the judge calls my husband to the back. And then before I know it, he's coming out and they're handcuffing him, saying that he had a body warrant for over a year that they were looking for him, and took him right from there right to jail. Right
from the wedding to the jail?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Dockery, did you know you had a warrant out on you?
No, ma'am. Actually, it was surprising to me when the judge said that. It was something that was 2 years prior. And it was something that they said it was a body warrant. He explained it to the effect that when I come in contact with the police, then they could execute it. But as far as coming to look for me, anything like that, it wasn't to that effect. So.
Yeah. Do you know what it was about? Was it like a parole violation?
No,
you had a clue? I mean, you didn't like, hey man, this is the wrong dude. I didn't, you know?
No, I know what it was about. I was up to no good, you know?
Yeah.
I know what it was about.
You knew what it was about. Okay, all right. I was to make sure. Now, how long had you known him before you married him?
I would say we were together for about 3 years.
3 years before you decided to get married?
Yeah.
How long did he end up, how long did you end up incarcerated?
I did a year in jail from that.
From that?
Yes.
Did she stick by you when that happened?
Yes, she did.
She was there? I mean, she rode with you, as they say.
Yes.
Your Honor, I was pregnant while he was in jail. I found out I was pregnant like a month after he went to jail. So I did my entire pregnancy without him there, everything on my own.
Were you aware that he had been conducting himself in a manner that could get him arrested? I mean, did you know what he was up to, or was this a surprise to you?
I wasn't surprised. When I met him, that's kind of what drew me to him. He was a bad boy from New York, and not necessarily like a bad boy, but I like the thug look, and like the fitted hats, he used to wear them low, and like his New York swag, he had like his little Brooklyn accent going on, and I liked the way he dressed, and he was aggressive, so that turned me on.
Okay, hey, you know, you like what you like.
Yes.
Yeah, you like what you like. Now, my understanding is that you were Muslim when you went in.
Yes.
But you became more devout during your stay.
Yes.
Did you bring your wife along on that ride? I mean, as you were changing your focus, or the strength with which you followed your beliefs, was she aware that was happening?
Yes. Constantly I did, you know, because I hit rock bottom. You know, that was my breaking point. Like, look, you need to get yourself together. You just into a bunch of foolishness is not working for you.
Right.
So I explained to her in detail, look, this is what it's about. I want to come home. I want us to be great. You know, I want to build a foundation, you know, and because she was pregnant, so I said, I'm going to be there for you and the baby, and we're going to go from here. You know, that's what it's about, you know, and the only way I can do that, to my recollection, is by doing it the righteous way. You know, I can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I can't do it like that. You know, I'm an extremist.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ms. Dockery, how has his religious change affected your marriage?
If I can just go back a little bit first.
Sure.
When we first got together, yes, I knew he was a Muslim, but he was not
He was not practicing
He was not practicing at the time. We used to club this was before we had kids, so we used to club every day, go to New York, go to Florida, drive to Virginia, and do all this stuff. Now, when he got locked up, like he said, he hit rock bottom. So when he came home, he was really on his dean, like practicing, praying 5 times a day, going to the masjid. So like this was all new to me, because now he doesn't drink anymore. He's not involved in what we used to be involved in, what I was used to. So I feel like kind of that's unfair to me, you know what I mean? Because I feel like he could have married anybody he wanted to, you know, but he chose to marry me, who's 13 years younger than him, not a practicing Muslim, you know what I mean? So I just feel like it's unfair to me, so it's affecting my life in a lot of ways now, like the way we're upbringing our daughter, going out. He don't want to do that at all. He'd rather stay home and watch a movie on a Friday, and my thing is, if, you know, my mom's watching my daughter, I want to go out and hit the town. I like to dress up and be pretty and go out, and he's like, oh, you can go out without me, but if I go out without him, he has attitude. He'll put like these weird gadgets on the door. Like he has this long rod stick. It's like steel that he'll put up under the door. And if I try to open it, you can't get in. Things like that.
Now, Mr. Dockery, do you lock her out if she goes out at night without you? You tell her she can, and then when she does, the penalty is she can't get back in.
No, I don't lock out. My wife is exaggerating a little bit.
No, he does.
I'm security-minded in my house.
Okay.
Meaning that once I'm in the house, I'm locking everything so nobody can come in. So when she goes out, she's out to maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, to whatever. So I'll put the lock on the door, and when she comes and she calls me, I'll take it off. Because, you know, I'm not locking her out intentionally, but I'm locking up, you know?
No, he's locking me out. I mean, shut down mode, locking me out. I can bang on the door, ring the doorbell. He's not answering it. It's to that extent.
That's not true. A lot of...
Wouldn't it concern you that your wife has to go through some machinations? Not a lot, but she's got to go through some hoops to get in the house at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, on a safety tip, I would think that a dude who cared about a woman would like make sure she didn't have to make extra steps because she's out at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean?
Here's the situation, Yana. I work nights now. My wife does the same thing. Should I look at it as she locking me out? I have to call my wife. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to call her and say, can you come down and open the door? That means she has to get up out of her sleep, move the baby, and come down and open the door. I don't look at it as she's trying to lock me out. I look at it as safety. She want to make sure that she's safe while I'm gone. That's what it's about. It's not, she's just taking it the wrong way.
Okay.
That's all.
I got you.
Everything I put on, it's something wrong. Like if I wear tights, I like to wear tights. Oh, you need to take that off because they're see-through. If I wear something like a top that's too tight, you need to take that out, your cleavage is hanging out. He's always saying stuff about what I'm wearing, but he never compliments me. You're my husband. At the end of the day, I want to hear you tell me I look beautiful.
Mrs. Dockery, did he ask you to convert?
Your Honor, in the beginning, he used to ask me a lot, and I told him simply like this: if you think I'm gonna wrap all this up, you got another thing coming. So, but now that we're into it and he knows like I'm kind of stuck in my ways, he doesn't ask me anymore. But if it was up to him, I would definitely convert for sure.
Is he on you? He seems to be allowing, you know, he has his faith, he's strong in it, but he's allowing you to be your own person. He doesn't seem to be picking at you with it.
Not with that, but everything I put on, it's something wrong. Like if I wear tights, I like to wear tights. Oh, you need to take that off because they're see-through. If I wear something like a top that's too tight, you need to take that out, your cleavage is hanging out. He always has something to say about what I'm wearing. Always. That's one thing, he's always saying stuff about what I'm wearing, but he never compliments me. Like, you know, you look beautiful or anything like that. And I'm always saying, I'm like, I don't want to hear this from other men. I want to hear from you. You're my husband. At the end of the day, I want to hear you tell me I look beautiful. He's like, oh, well, you should know I think you're beautiful. That's why I married you.
Ms. Dockery, you seem very level-headed about the difference in your religious opinions. Have you just let that go and say, you know, we can live our separate ways in the house, or are you seeking to get her to be more conforming by other means?
Well, at first,
you with me?
At first, I didn't put a lot of thought to it. You know, I try to tell her, look, you know, be Muslim, I'm Muslim, you know. But after analyzing the situation and reality, you know, what my Creator says is that there's no compulsion in religion. I can't force her to be Muslim. So with that being said, you know, despite, if we move the word Muslim or Islam out of the equation, despite that, you know, I just feel that a woman should be dressed modestly. You know, and my wife, she doesn't look at things the way that I look at it. We're looking at things through a different telescope. For example, some of the things that she puts on, and my wife is beautiful. When she puts on certain things, I know, I'm a man. I know what a man is looking at. So to avoid any problems or anything that can erupt from that, I tell her, listen, you shouldn't dress like this or shouldn't dress like that. I don't command her or demand her because I can't do that. She's her own individual. All I could do is make suggestions and hope that she takes heed to the suggestions. You know, I'm just saying that she should dress modestly. Okay. You know?
Ms. Dockery, you say he's extreme in other ways, though. You say he doesn't allow mirrors or pictures in the house, that he's OCD on the cleaning.
He tried to say no pictures, no mirrors, because I guess in his religion, when you pray, because like I said, he prays 5 times a day, angels don't come around images. So he tried it in the beginning, but I was brought up with pictures. So now if you walk into my house, this looks like a memorial of my daughter all over. I have pictures everywhere. So I will say he does meet me halfway for the most part. He's coming along, but he still complains about a lot of things. We have a big communication problem. Like, there's no talking, it's screaming. So when he's upset about something, he's screaming at me, I'm screaming at him. I will say I'm tick, tick, boom. Like, I have 0 tolerance. I go from 0 to 100. The littlest things that we argue about turns into a screaming match. I have no filter. I say some ruthless things.
But it turns into a screaming match because of you. You don't even have to say anything. She's killing us out.
No, I will say, my husband is very sarcastic. He's very sharp with his tongue. He's very intelligent. So sometimes he be using words I never even heard of, and I'm like, what did you just say to me? So I feel like he's trying to...
You know, the cure for that is to read. I mean...
I could be like, what are you watching on TV? Like, what do you mean, what am I watching on TV? What does it look like I'm watching on TV? He's disrespectful with how he talks to me. That's how I feel. So we go for sometimes a month without talking to each other. I'll sleep upstairs, he'll sleep down.
Seriously? Mr. Dockery, I would like to know what your point of view is on the communication problem. You know, what's at issue, who's at fault, and how bad does it get?
Well, first of all, Yana, let me just say I'm a very, very patient person. Meaning that when I say something to my wife, I'm conscious, I try to be conscious for the most part, the way that I deliver it. Because I know that people are not receptive to certain ways that you deliver things. So I try to be conscious. But my wife and our communications, it seems like if it comes out of my mouth, no matter if it's right or wrong, it's just out of my mouth, so it's gonna be wrong. It seems like I could tell my wife that the sky is blue, and she say, no, 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 and she turns around and her sister or somebody say the sky is blue, she's like, yeah, and then she come back to me and say, Ty, guess what, the sky is blue. I said, I just told you that. You know, so our communications is really bad. There is no, it seems like every time I open my mouth, she asks, and this is what's crazy, she asks me a question, and when I attempt to answer the question, she said, oh, here we go, a long story, oh, here we go. Because... I'm like, how do you want me to answer the question? I gotta answer it like you want me to answer it? You want me to just say yes or no? No, I'm gonna tell you yes, and this is what happens with the yes. Or no, this is what happens with the no, so that you can get a clear understanding. I mean, who wants to answer the question that you don't understand?
Now, Ms. Dockery, hang on just a second. Out of your own mouth, you told me that you go from 0 to 100 very quickly.
Yes, I do.
Out of your own mouth, you told me that you get live and flippy with it first. So, to what extent do you find him in error with respect to your communication problems?
Because with him, it's not what he says, it's how he says it. He pushes my buttons. He knows exactly what to do, what to say to get under my skin.
Give me an example.
I mean, just to give you an example, I could be like, what are you watching on TV? Like, what do you mean, what am I watching on TV? What does it look like I'm watching on TV? Like, he's very black and white. So he's very cutthroat, to the point, and he's disrespectful with how he talks to me. That's how I feel. So with me, you get what you give. You're gonna give me an attitude, you're gonna get it back, and more to it, because I have no filter, and when I am angry, I go in, and there's no stopping me. And then once I calm down, maybe an hour or two later, I do try to apologize, but he don't want to hear it. And that brings me to, we go for sometimes a month without talking to each other. I'll sleep upstairs, he'll sleep down.
Seriously?
I'm dead serious.
A month without talking?
A month. I'll sleep upstairs.
And what would precipitate that kind of silence? What kind of arguments would cause that to occur?
It's his mouth. His mouth. His mouth is reckless. Don't let him fool you. He got a sharp tongue, and it's not what he says, it's how he says it to me. I feel like he talks down to me. And everything, because we're 13 years apart. I'm 30 years old, he's 43. So he got a story for everything. He can't just...
You feel like you're always being instructed.
Yeah, and I don't like that. Like,
I got
he's
it.
like, I've been there and done that, so I know. I'm like, are you my dad or my husband?
I got it. I understand what you're telling me. Ms. Dockery, I came out here and thought I was going to be faced with a rigid, unbending, irrational, fanatical individual who is controlling and demeaning and demanding, and didn't find that at all. What I found was you fussing and hollering and carrying on and saying things like, I don't play that. I'm not going to be that, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't think he's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I do think he's probably a little condescending to you every once in a while. I believe in that. But you're responsible for your own behavior. And if you don't like how he speaks to you and continue to respond to him in a hysterical manner, that is not something that will inspire the change that you want. In order to speak to somebody who does that, this is how it works. You know, that was condescending. I don't think I deserved that. I didn't understand A, B, or C, and I think I deserve more respect from that as your wife.
Well, I do say to him, like, you need to talk to me with respect. Like, don't talk to me like that.
But you don't say it like that.
No, there's curse words in there for sure, and my neck is going, and my hand...
And see, that's what I'm trying to teach you. If you are not getting what you want, doing the things that you are doing, you need to change what you are doing in an effort to get what you want. The anger and it never gets you anywhere. Mr. Dockery, this is what I would suggest for you. Be more attentive to her when she's not doing anything you're displeased with. In other words, take her out a little bit. You don't have to go to bars because that's not what you can do, and keep your faith. But I think she feels a little demeaned, appropriately or inappropriately. And to be attentive to a woman and complimentary to a woman, telling her she's beautiful and all that kind of stuff, marrying us isn't enough. We still need to hear it anyway.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to take her out and do things with her because we feel that that feeds our need. You with me on that one? I'm trying to broker a peace here because I don't see anything that terribly wrong. I'm going to send you to talk to somebody about how you deal with situations, but you need to be more adult in the way you handle controversy. You really do. You have to grow up a little bit. All of this anger and this and that, whether he's right or wrong, you know, you have to be more adult in your responses. You really do. It's ridiculous. It really, really is. And you heard what I told you about how to make a woman feel important and loved, right?
Yes, I do. I just want to...
I gotta go.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be up here all day.
But I honestly, from the heart, wish you both the best. This matter is adjourned.